Welcome to another update from Elixir's voyage around the world, and you've joined us at a very exciting time as we've just made landfall in Tahiti, the capital of the Society Islands, which are a group of dramatic volcanic islands pretty much in the middle of the Pacific. My name's Max, and I'm creeping up on the halfway point of this voyage around the world on board Elixir, a 1970s Swan 37. We're currently making our way through the remote anchorages of the South Pacific, and after many weeks of hopping between mostly uninhabited islands, we decided it's time for our slow reintroduction into society. In this video, like last time, we sail again 250 miles from Fakarava to Tahiti. However, this time it's on board the beautiful 70-foot classic Yawl Latifa. It was a lot of fun sailing another boat for a change, especially since we were with two of our good friends, Jasper and Georgie. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Join the Patreon to support the production of these videos and be the first to hear about any opportunities to sail on Elixir. The goal of this voyage is to share the sailing lifestyle with as many people as possible, and we've already had over 50 different crew members join along the way. We just arrived in Tahiti after quite a tiring passage with just me and Chloe, and as we were coming into the anchorage, the engine warning light started beeping and the engine was overheating, so we shut it down and quickly dropped the anchor, and I'm gonna investigate now to see what the problem is. So this has happened before, and the problem last time in Costa Rica was the impeller shredded and then blocked up the heat exchanger. So I think that's the first thing that I'm gonna check. The impeller is the little rubber pump that pumps seawater around the engine. And obviously if that stops working, then the engine will heat up. Seawater is used to cool the engine coolant through the heat exchanger. So no impeller means the engine will overheat. So that's a pretty good thing to check. There could also be a blockage. I've checked the seawater strainer, which is like the filter that filters through the seawater, and there's nothing in there, but there could still be a blockage which is stopping seawater from coming inside the boat. So we're just gonna work our way through the cooling system and see what the problem is. So this is the impeller in here. We're just gonna take this cover off. We should be able to look inside. Yeah, we just wanna check that the impeller looks good and none of the blades have fallen off, which is a common problem. We've just taken the cap for the impeller off, and as you can see, one of the blades is actually missing. It's been ripped off. So yeah, basically this is the water pump. You can see that when the engine turns over, the pump rotates. So yeah, this is probably why this is not functioning anymore. So a good place to start would be to find where this blade has gone and then replace the impeller. That's the one that's missing. So we need to find that little bit.
Where's he gone?
It could be in here. This is where I found them before, so I'm going to take it off now and have a look.
There it is. That's what did it.
I'm putting the new impeller in.
Are you lubing it up?
Yeah, just put a bit of grease in there. So we have the new impeller in. We fished out the little blade, which I think was blocking up the cooling system. I'm just tightening up the bolts on this cover, and yeah, then we'll turn the engine on and make sure that there's water coming out the back, and hopefully that'll be the issue sorted. The impeller is something that I've noticed needs fairly regular maintenance and changing. Last time I put a new one in was in Costa Rica a little over a year ago, so yeah, I guess they need changing every year. Obviously the cooling system is super important because otherwise the engine just gets really hot. Okay, so I just fired up the engine again. As you can see, we have a nice, generous flow of water coming out of the back of the boat. So hopefully that's the problem solved. It's just the impeller falling apart. We're in Tahiti. It's pretty beautiful. I haven't really been focusing on how beautiful it is because I've been a bit preoccupied with this engine issue, but yeah, it's all sorted now. So that's one job ticked off the list. We just pulled into this anchorage to do a few little jobs on the boat before we go into the city, like the main town of Papeete. It seems like too much effort to like assemble the dinghy, go ashore, and then disassemble it and leave. So we're just gonna swim ashore, all our stuff in a dry bag, and have a little look around Tahiti.
Michael go, guys. Check. Here we go.
Tahiti is the largest island in French Polynesia and by far the most populous, with almost 200,000 inhabitants. After so long on remote and sparsely populated islands, this small Tahitian town was almost overwhelming. It was our first stop in the group of islands known as the Societies, which in a way are similar to both the Marquesas and the Tuamotus. The Society Islands combine both the volcanic peaks of the Marquesas with the protected barrier reefs of the Tuamotus. And these protective lagoons provide sheltered anchorages for yachts, and the surrounding reef passes create shallow but perfect waves. Tahiti had been on my radar as a surf destination for a long time, and I was very excited to get in the water.
It's a great morning here in Tahiti, and I just woke up. It's like 6 a.m. We're going to take the dinghy and go and look at the wave in the reef pass. It's supposed to be quite big today, or a decent size, so yeah, it should be some good surf.
Now, I grew up surfing the cold, inconsistent beach breaks of the UK, and the first thing that struck me was the sheer power of these waves. Almost every wave was perfectly barreling over a shallow reef, and it made me feel quite an exciting mix of both awe and fear. Not only was the takeoff very steep, but because of the crystal clear water, you can see every inch of the razor-sharp coral reef staring straight back at you.
So we just got out of the water at Tahiti, and kind of crazy surfing these waves for the first time. Like, they're very powerful, very hollow barrels, but yeah, it's going to take a bit of getting used to. So we've left Elixir for a few days, and we're going to do something a little bit different now. We're on a plane back to Fakarava, where we've just come from, where we just sailed from a few days ago.
It's going to take us an hour and 10 minutes to fly, and it took us 43 hours to sail, so it's quite different.
And just like that, we were back at the vast atoll of Fakarava in the Tuamotu archipelago. If you watched my last video, you'll recognize this beautiful 70-foot classic wooden yawl. Latifa was built in 1936 by the prolific Scottish yacht designer William Fife. It goes without saying, but she is a very special boat. Fifes are known for their striking beauty as well as an extremely high level of craftsmanship. Unlike modern boats built mostly of fiberglass and stainless steel, Latifa looks almost exactly as she would have done in the 1930s. With a satisfying combination of varnished teak, bronze, and leather. Our friends Jasper and Georgie are both professional sailors, and it's their full-time job to sail and maintain Latifa. After a few months of cruising in French Polynesia, Latifa's owners had returned home, and it was our job to help Jasper and Georgie to sail Latifa back to her temporary home of Moorea.
Georgie's right there. Oh, that's great. Georgie's right there.
That was really close.
Oh, it feels good. It feels great. Oh, that's good. This is a real treat.
Work it, work it.
It's not often that we get to actually wash in fresh water.
Bye! Still not shy. Couple of hours.
See you guys. See you.
Bye.
I always love the opportunity to sail on other people's boats. It's a great way to learn more about sailing. Jasper and Georgie maintain Latifa to a very high standard, and it definitely got me thinking about how I could do things differently on Elixir. After a morning of prep, we set off on exactly the same passage as we'd just done only a few days ago on Elixir. However, this time we had an espresso machine, hot showers, and ice creams in the freezer. The wind had also dropped a lot, and it looked like we had a few days of smooth sailing ahead of us.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
This is so good.
How does it feel to have the stay so loud?
Oh mate, it's great. It's been about a year since that's last up. It's my favourite sail on the boat. Secret weapon.
It makes the name even bigger. Yeah, it does. Like looking up above it.
So much sail.
4 sails, baby.
Yeah, that'd be the first one to come down if it picks up.
Yeah.
Alright, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Jasper. I'm from Falmouth, but I grew up in the Caribbean and I'm half German, but I don't speak the language. We left the UK about 3 years ago on our own little cruising boat, a little gaff cutter called Morwenna, and then got a job delivering a super yacht to Antigua for the winter. We weren't really sure what we were going to do. We kind of thought that maybe we'd spend the winter in Antigua doing some yacht work and earning a bit of money to go back to our boat and go cruising. And then we ended up meeting Colin and Laura, the old skippers of this boat, Latifa. They offered us the job of taking over the running from them and sailing to Tahiti and running the boat in the South Pacific. So we kind of just dropped everything and went for it. And yeah, here we are, a year and a half later in Tahiti. Been in French Polynesia for about a year and a bit. Managed to sell our boat, sell our van, pack up our lives in Europe, and we're out here doing our thing. Latifa is a special boat. She's William Fife design. He built her in 1936 in Fairley. It's pretty often said that she's the favourite boat of his, and she's his most beautiful boat, and I'm kind of inclined to believe it's true. She's definitely one of the most beautiful boats, the most beautiful boat I've ever sailed. She's a double ender, canoe stern, 78 feet on deck, yawl rigged, built for ocean racing and cruising kind of simultaneously. Did really well in the Royal Ocean Racing Club circuit, and then spent the war. Is that fish on? Okay, sorry, I ruined it.
So excited.
Got on. She's a special boat to a lot of people, so it's definitely a big responsibility, but it feels great to be trusted by the owner and to be sailing this piece of history around.
I'm Georgie and I'm from Falmouth. We've been in French Polynesia now for like a year and a bit. I think the best bit...
Oh, Sean.
Get on! Fish grab bag.
Yeah, go tire out for a bit.
What's the best thing about French Polynesia? The bit.
It's a small one.
Oh.
Can't really slow down. Have we still got it? I think it's off.
Oh.
I think we lost it. Oh dear. Ow! We tried to do ran.
We had a fish on, but it got away.
But as usual, Jasper lost it.
He's got a bit of a
No, that's
fish.
negative self-talk. We're not about that.
He's got a bit of a fish complex. I'd say it's a really colourful place to live. Like, it's very relaxed. Like, the people are really friendly, and it's really interesting, like the different kind of cultures in between, like the Marquesas and the Tuamotus and the Tahiti and the society. I'd say we live a pretty quiet life, really. We sort of have our routines with like jobs on board and a lot of varnish and stuff, but outside of that we just try and do nice things like going running and swimming and diving. We also get to know a lot of places by dinghy, kind of know the underwater landscape around where we're based just as well as we know the above water landscape. I don't know, I think we kind of live quite a monkish existence sometimes. We watch a lot of Downton Abbey.
It's lucky we get on, isn't it?
Yeah. It's lucky we like each other and we can make each other laugh.
We're having ice cream on passage. What?
Ice cream at sea. That's how we live.
The Latifa life.
That's how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're born to be on camera.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever had an ice cream on a passage before, and it's a big deal.
Life-changing.
It is crazy. Like, yeah, what do you think about this experience?
It was extremely good. Cornetto? Baked cornetto.
This was some very smooth sailing. We had a totally flat sea and light winds on the beam, allowing us to set all of Latifa's biggest sails and still maintain a decent speed towards Tahiti. Honestly, this was one of the most peaceful nights I've ever had at sea. There's nothing quite like sleeping inside a traditional wooden boat, especially when the conditions are as calm as this. Because of her long keel, she has a motion that is very steady and predictable, and there's something comforting about the sound of water as it trickles its way along the outside of the hull. This is day 2 of our sail from Fakarava to Tahiti, and it's pretty light winds today. You can see that there's like 7 knots of wind. The sea is super flat. So we've basically stuck up every sail we can get just to keep the boat moving. And you can see that up there we have this big furling head sail. This is a Jenica. It furls from the top down. It's a huge sail. And then we have full main as well. This is like a mizzen staysail, this funny one here, and then full mizzen as well. So yeah, we're basically carrying 4 sails. They're all pretty big, and we're doing about 5 knots in 7 knots of wind.
Which I think is pretty good, not bad for like a solid 50-ton, 80-foot boat that's almost 100 years old. It's been a great trip so far. Also, it just feels really cool to be out here with 3 friends in the middle of the South Pacific. It's kind of surreal.
Wind, please.
How's today's ice cream?
Delicious. Tropical, fresh.
That's better.
It was nice to catch up with Jasper and Georgie and to hear about their last few years of travels. We are all from the same hometown and we'd left at a similar time with no real plan, just a desire to travel and a passion for sailing. Now, years later, we finally got to see each other again on the other side of the world. It was cool to see how they had created this life for themselves and how their job of sailing and maintaining Latifa had led them to some incredible destinations. It was another great sunset which led to another unusually peaceful night at sea. And at some point in the middle of the night, the wind really dropped off and we pulled down the big mizzen staysail and switched on the engines to keep the boat moving. On the morning of the 2nd day, we spotted the volcanic hills of Tahiti and we made landfall for the 2nd time. We said goodbye to Jasper, Georgie and Latifa and made our way back to Elixir to continue our journey through the Society Islands. Thanks again for watching another update from Elixir's voyage around the world. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you could just engage with this video, so like, comment, share, send it to one of your mates, I'd be super grateful. Make sure to check out our online store with t-shirts and tote bags, all made with organic cotton and water-based ink. Yeah, if you want to come sailing on Elixir, then join the Patreon, because that's going to be the first place where I post any opportunities to come on board. There's also just like a ton of extra content there as well. So yeah, thanks again for watching another one of these updates, and I'll see you next time.